What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today, you guys, with a brand new season of Tyler Perry's The Oval. You guys, this is season 5, episode 1. The episode is titled Turning Tables. Now, what I will say before we get into this, I had no idea that The Oval was even back, you guys. They have not done, I have not saw much promo for The Oval. Like, I know Sisters is returning tonight. I'm recording this Wednesday morning. I know Sisters returns tonight, but I had no idea about The Oval. I thought The Oval was over, to be quite honest with you, because it's been 7 months since we saw The Oval. So I had completely forgotten about The Oval. But before we jump into this review, you guys, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel, do me a solid favor, you guys, and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and also by sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss Tyler Perry's The Oval on BET. Shall we? All right, you guys, so this episode, like I said, it's been 7 months, so I actually forgot a lot of things that happened in the season finale. But you guys remember, well, if you might not remember, but the season finale ended with Victoria and Simone going back and forth with each other, right? Remember, Simone had put two and two together that Victoria was sleeping with Eli, so she went up to the White House to confront Victoria, and they got into the whole fight. Well, that's where this episode opened up, with Victoria still tormenting her, talking about the little smell she has, and that's the reason why Eli hasn't went down on her. I was like, oh, wow. I was like, Simone, whoop her ass. So Simone, went at her, and they went over the banister, right? And so then the Secret Service comes in, and they, break them apart. So Victoria is telling the Secret Service to take Simone down to the presidential bunker, and they're like, she's a second lady. And she's like, I'm the first lady, and I just gave you an order. I was like, see, Victoria, that's why she punched you, because the way you talk to people. So they're going to take her down there to the presidential bunker, right? Now, mind you, while they got Simone, secured, Victoria started slapping her and punching her. I was like, oh, Victoria, you look very weak. Speaking of Victoria, the actress who plays Victoria, Karen Moore, you guys, congratulations are in order to her. She got married over the summer, I believe. I know she got married recently, but she's a newlywed, so congratulations to Karen. I saw when she posted it on Instagram. I just cannot remember when I saw it. I believe it was, I want to say it was August, or I think it was July or August, but I believe it was August that I saw that. But I could be wrong. But yeah, I know she got married. So congratulations to her. Now back to the show. Victoria. So she went to the Oval, and Hunter was knocked out on the floor. You guys remember. Now this part I did remember that. Now I don't remember how it happened. Yes, I do. I think I remember it. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Alan gave Alonzo the drugs, right, to give to Hunter, and that was laced with the fentanyl, right? I could be wrong, but we know how Hunter is. Hunter, he overdoes everything, right? So he's had an overdose. So Victoria calls for the White House doctor. Everybody came very quickly, I will say that. And then Alonzo came in, and she asked Alonzo, you got him the drugs, didn't you? What did you get him? Where did you get it? And Alonzo's like, I ain't did nothing. Like, my name is Bennett, and I ain't in it. But again, we all know that it was Alonzo. I think anybody with common sense will know it's Alonzo, since that's the person that Hunter has been dealing with here lately. Because Max isn't working for him anymore. So who else is scoring him the drugs, right? So let's pause here, you guys, and move forward. All right, you guys, so this next scene with Donald. Now, I will say this scene with Donald, I didn't remember anything, because we see Donald, and he's just walking around the house with his gun drawn. And I'm like, why is his gun drawn? And then I was like, who is that in his bed? I was so confused, you guys. But everybody in the place is deceased, right? Now, I was like, who did this? Because I kept thinking to myself. But then it finally came to me when Lily came in. And so Donald asked Lily, did you do this? I was like, do you really think Lily did that? Here's the thing with Donald and Lily. Y'all both walking around fine as hell, but y'all both just recently got shot. Donald, you got shot in the abdomen, and so did Lily. Like, y'all literally just got shot, but that's the one thing about Tyler Perry world. When they get shot, it don't last. Like the pain and all that stuff, it wears off. Just it's just like a stick-on band-aid. You put a band-aid on it and it just dissolves, and the wound dissolves with it because that's what it gives, right? So he also called Kyle to come over to the crib, right? And he asked him, "Is everything okay?" He just told him, "Come on over," right? So after that, like I said, when Lily came in, Lily told him it was that officer who came in and took everybody out, and that the officer hit her. And Donna was like, "Why would he hit you?" She was like, "To get a rise out of you." I was like, "Well, that's not gonna get a rise out of him because we all know he don't like you." And then the officer should have known that as well. So I thought that the officer, never mind, because I would say I thought that the officer was unlived, but maybe he was. I guess he wasn't. I don't remember anything that happened in that final episode last season. So yeah, he did that. So Donald wants to get back at the office. I was like, "You've already made the man lose his job. Like the man lost his job because of you." But okay. So then Victoria called Donald to tell Donald that Hunter had overdosed, right? And so she said to come to the White House. So he called Kyle and told Kyle, "Hey, instead of coming here, let's go to the White House," right? So they get to the White House. They're leaving to go to the White House, right? So the next thing that threw me off was Dale and Alan. Now, after I thought about it, I knew why Dale was down there, and I actually thought about it. I'm like, okay, some of this stuff is coming together, but again, it's foggy. So I remember in the finale, I remember what happened with Dale. Why he's at the precinct is because of the situation when he went to Kareem's apartment and found Sharon, right? That's one thing. And then I was like, but Alan. I was like, what happened with Alan? And I was like, I vaguely remember it, but it was something with the pharmacy. So they're both at the jail, right? And Alan asked Dale, like, "Hey, can you go to my apartment for me?" And he's like, "For what?" "Because I need you to get a box." He's like, "What kind of a box?" He's like, "It's a box in my apartment, Dale." He's like, "What's in the box?" "Dale, just go to my apartment and get the box." "What's in the box? I need to know what's in the box." I was like, "Alan, tell Dale what's in the box." Dale, if he tells you there's something that you can to protect. He told him it's something that can protect him. I was like, oh my God, this is the one thing about Tyler Perry that I have not missed. The back and the forth. It's like, "Dale, go to my apartment and get this." "Why do I need to go get it?" "I just need you to go get it." "What's in the box?" "Go get the damn box, Dale." "What's in the box?" "Go get the damn box, Dale." "What's in the box?" "Get the box. It's something in there to protect us." "Where is the box?" "It's behind the counter, on the kitchen floor, by the refrigerator." "What's in the box?" "Just get the goddamn box." Like, that stuff kind of gets on my nerves. And you guys know it gets on my nerves, but that's neither here nor there, right? So, after that, Dale said he would go, but then Alan asked him, "Why is he there?" He said, "Because of, something happened with him and his friend." And then the cop came and told Dale, "You're free to go." So he asked, "What about Sharon?" He says, "She's staying and she's in lockup, right?" So then he asked about Kareem. Kareem is fine. Kareem survived. I was like, really? She knocked him up. I mean, that was blunt force trauma. I mean, she had the golf club and whacked him in the head. The interesting thing is, for me, is that the cops arrested her, but y'all got a call about a domestic dispute. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Pause here. Let's move forward, you guys. So the White House doctor, right? He went and told Victoria that it was a fentanyl overdose and how it doesn't look good for Hunter. I was like, I would imagine it doesn't. As much, and it wasn't even cocaine, it was heroin. As much as Hunter takes, he overdoes it even when it's not laced with anything. Hunter overdoes everything, right? So once again, Victoria's asking Lonzo, "Where did you get this shit?" And he says, "I didn't do anything, ma'am." She's like, if you did do something, if you did it, this is on you. And basically they're gonna make him pay, right? I was like, well, you got to be able to prove it first and foremost. So Donald and Kyle arrive, right? When they arrive, Victoria told them Hunter had a fentanyl overdose. Alonzo's the one that gave him the drugs, right? So Alonzo and Kyle, they got out of there. So now Victoria and Donald are talking. So Victoria wants to let Eli know what's happening with Hunter because when Hunter been incapacitated, it now makes, is boosting the vice president to now presidential status, right? Once again, Donald's like, but ma'am, I don't think you should do that because he's trying to come after you. I was like, he's not really trying to, I mean, he was trying to come after them, but remember the storyline, you guys, that storyline still makes no sense to me, and so I'm not even gonna repeat that storyline because it was so it was so done. I just don't. I never understood that storyline. They were going after them, but then they realized everything was on Jason, and but none of that shit made sense to me. It still doesn't make sense to me. But hey, neither here nor there, right? But it's something that they have to do. But again, Donald doesn't want to do it. So then she asked them about Jason, right? Donald told her that Jason, unfortunately, he got away. I was like, yep, he got away. And I don't know how he got away. So the next thing we see, you guys, is with Kyle and Alonzo. So Kyle is asking Alonzo, so like, dude, where'd you get the drugs? And he was like, the pharmacy. He was like, what pharmacy? He said, Richardson Pharmacy. He was like, Kareem, that little shit. And I did not know that Kyle even knew who Kareem. Yo, yes, he does. Yes, he does, because I remember it. Wait, was it him that beat up Kareem? It could have been. I don't remember. So he was like, you know it? He was like, yeah. So yeah, again, you guys, this episode right here, for me, is trying to piece things together because again, it has been 7 months since we've had this show, and I don't really remember everything. What I will say with the Oval, when y'all come to y'all's mid-season finale for season 5, don't let it be a long ass break. Because the longer that we go without the show, that makes me forget what even happened in the show. Because this review is not, it's all over the place because I'm trying, and I'm still even now trying to piece things together from last season. And last season was again 7 months ago. So I'm just, whoever came up with this kit, because it's so interesting. The Oval went off at around the same time that Sisters went off. Sisters came back this past summer and aired up until they just took their mid-season finale, and they're back tonight. The Oval took their season finale with Sisters, I think back up around March or so, right? And they're just coming back at the end of the year. That's not good. Like I have been looking at I have been looking on Twitter and looking at the hashtag, and a lot of people were questioning, like, is the Oval coming back? Had they canceled the Oval? Like, there was no mention of the Oval. And once again, like I said, promotion for the Oval. I don't remember how I saw the promotion yesterday before the show even aired. I don't remember. I don't know if it was on. I believe it was on YouTube. I think I was watching somebody's video on YouTube, and the commercial came up. I was like, the Oval. And it was like, yep, the Oval returns tonight. I was like, huh? I was like, wow, that is terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. So let's pause here, you guys, and move forward. All right, you guys, so next up, Eli. So Eli is at the house, and he's looking for Simone, right? So he asked one of the Secret Service, where is Simone? So he tells her she went to the White House. And so Victoria called him. And when he answered the phone, he was talking to Victoria. She was like, just go ahead and ask me the question that you want to ask me. So she told him, yeah, your wife came here. I told her everything, and we got into a fight. And she was like, I whooped that bitch's ass. I was like, Victoria, did you really whoop her ass? Because she was held back when you finally went in for the punch. So did you really whoop Simone's ass or not? Like, inquiring minds want to know, is that what really happened, right? So she told him she's somewhere secure. And so she told him about what happened to Hunter. So he's getting dressed to go over to the White House, right? Because again, he's getting ready to assume the position of the president in chief, right? So after that, we see Max and Sam. So Max and Sam, they're riding around, right? And Sam is still visibly upset about the situation with Priscilla and with Bobby. That part I do remember. So, Max is asking him, how you doing? He said, fine, but then he says, nah, I'm not fine, right? And so Max says, well, my wife and I went through something like this when we were going through separation. And Sam hit him with the, well, aren't y'all divorced? I was like, Sam, how rude. So I'm like, because he's divorced, he can't give, kind of advice because he's been through the situation. Babe, I would tell Sam, you know what? Fuck it, Sam. I don't give a damn, right? So Max did tell Sam that when it comes down to the situation with Priscilla, basically pay it dust. I know it bothers you, but don't entertain her. That's what she wants from you. Don't give it to her. And I was like, exactly. That's exactly. And then he was like, but didn't you sleep with the first lady? And I was like, yeah, you got him there, Max. Like, you got him right there, because he's mad at Priscilla, but you did sleep with the first lady. Like, that's what Priscilla's problem is. The problem is that you slept with the first lady, and the first lady is such a bitch. And then, even after you've slept with the woman, the first lady continues to taunt and torment her. So that is Priscilla's issue with you, Sam. Like, come on, Sammy. Come on. So we see Jason. Jason is hidden away, right? We see him on a bike, and then this dude in, camo gear with a gun comes up to him. And I was like, where in the hell is Jason? But I did see the preview for, in the commercial, I did see the highest. I was like, oh, God, no, we finna have a crossover. Jesus the Christ. You guys know I don't watch Ruthless. That show ain't for me, but yep, we got a crossover. I was like, good grief. I just realized that the guy who plays the highest, he used to play on Days of Our Lives years ago. He used to play a character by the name of Brandon Walker. I was like, that is him. Because when I Googled, because a few months ago, actually it was about a month or two ago, because I still watch Days of Our Lives, and I was Googling, and I was like, I wonder what happened to the character Brandon, right? And then I Googled Brandon Walker, and then the guys who portrayed him face came up. I was like, wait a minute. And then on his IMDb, it shows Ruthless. I was like, no. And then it said, yes, he's the highest. I was like, oh, wow. I mean, a job is a job is a job. Wow, that is, can we say something? Can I say something and be open and be honest about it? It is so interesting when you think about it, because a lot of people who act for Tyler Perry, I've always said this, everybody who acts for him are really great actors and actresses, right? Tika Sumpter, I know her from One Life to Live, and a phenomenal actress, right? Who else is a great actor? Oh, Tyler Lepley. Great. I mean, he does good on Harlem. He does good on P-Valley. Gavin from Haves and Have-Nots, he's been on General Hospital. He does an amazing job on GH. Who else? The woman who plays Nancy, she's on The Young and the Restless. And I've watched her on there, and she is fantastic, right? Eva was on Young and the Restless once before, and she did an amazing job on The Young and the Restless as Tyra. Like, so many of the actors and actresses I don't know what the issue is when it comes to his shows and his movies, because a lot of these people are great actors and actresses. I don't know if I think most times it is the script, that the script is kind of, and this is no shade to Tyler, like I've said plenty of times in the past, I applaud him for what he does for black people, how he keeps people around, and I applaud him for that. But when it comes to his writing, it just lacks. It lacks a lot of stuff, right? Lacks substance, lacks good dialogue, and it just doesn't come off. It doesn't come off right. And I think that that's sometimes what the issue is with the actors and actresses. They're talented, but their talent, I don't think it shines as well as it should working under Tyler. And again, this is no disrespect to him. This is just me giving my personal opinions. And this is why, like, I'm reluctant. I'm reluctant to do this show, right? Because the lag time, right? 7 months we have not had this show, and we're now sitting here trying to piece things together from a show that ended back in March or so, and we're in October, and end of October, almost in November, I forgot everything that happened with this show, right? And then with Sisters, the storyline never progresses. Even with Oval, this storyline has not. This storyline doesn't progress, right? You feel like you get to a point where you're like, okay, we're finna finish this storyline out, but no, we drag it, and that's kind of why I'm a little reluctant to do Sisters, you guys. So we're gonna watch the first episode of Sisters. I know I know I've completely deviated from this review, but we're gonna get back to the review in just a second. But I'm gonna watch the first episode tonight. I'm more than likely gonna review it, but it's just a little bit of reluctancy on my part. But hey, back to the Oval. Let's pause here and let's wrap up, you guys. All right, you guys. So you guys remember now I don't remember which episode this was. I had also, actually with this scene, I forgot what happened too, because I'm trying to figure out why was Nancy in the hospital. Because I remember the last time Nancy was in the hospital, Nancy was on those hallucinogenic drugs that the highest of them had given her, and then she had the neck brace around her neck. I was like, why does Nancy have a neck brace around her neck? Then I finally thought about it. I was like, that's right. Nancy was dangling when Richard went into the room at one point. Now, let's just, I'm sorry, this just doesn't make any sense. So Nancy is still obviously higher than draft pussy, right? So the doctor came in and asked her, she doesn't know what happened to her, right? And so she asked Richard, why is her neck sore? Now, mind you, Richard doesn't want to tell her. I was like, Richard, why don't you just tell her that you found her dangling in the bath, in the closet? I'm like, why? And here's the thing. That's something that can be, you can tell the difference between someone dangling and someone getting strangled, right? Because now she's telling the doctor that Richard tried to take her out. I was like, there would be, if that were the case, you would see the handprints around her neck. You would see something around her neck. And if it's, dangling, you would see that as well. There's a difference. There is a difference between both of them, and you can clearly tell them. You're gonna see where it's going to be it's going to be a struggle with one, and the other one you ain't gonna see no struggle. You're just gonna see the marks. But with one, it's a struggle. The other, you did it yourself, right? So, yeah, I was like, so we're going this route. I was like, you know what? It's Tyler Perry's world, and we're just living in it, right? So then to end the episode, Priscilla and Bobby. Priscilla doesn't want to sleep with Bobby. Priscilla is just doing all this stuff to get back at Sam, right? So she asked him about him being in a hotel room, and he told her, it's got something to do with the the vice president. And then he was giving her a little massage. Then he started started rubbing on her, filling her boobs up, and she stopped him, right? And so she's like, she didn't want to do this. So he was like, okay, cool. So he's escorting her to the door, opening the door, and who's at the door? Sam's at the door with a gun in his hand and goes, pop, 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 right to Bobby. I was like, oh, wow. And I was like, I don't see nobody's blood. I don't see nobody's blood. I'm sorry. That scene, I was like, is this a dream sequence or what? Because this is not given that it's real, right? Yeah. So then Sam told Priscilla, bitch, get home and wash his fucking clothes. I was like, excuse you? Run that back? Oh, okay. I guess. So yeah, you guys, that's the episode. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section below. Please subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications on, and share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe out there, you guys. Take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Also, one thing I did want to point out, I did notice in the opening sequence, so you guys know we haven't saw Gail for quite some time because you guys know she's still on Power. But somebody else that we didn't see is Von Hebron, who plays Barry. So I guess he really is gone. But I wonder if they're gonna bring him back now that the game has been canceled. So the game had 2 seasons over on Paramount Plus, but they canceled it. And I will say, Paramount Plus, y'all are wrong for canceling that show, because I actually watched it earlier this year, and it was really, really good. I really liked the reboot of the game. I liked how it became kind of like a soap opera, right? But it's canceled, so I wonder if they're gonna bring Barry back because technically, did we see a body? I don't remember. If we did, we did. If we didn't, we didn't. I don't know, but hey, I'll see you guys later on tonight for. Actually, I'll see you guys later for Salt Lake City, and we're gonna do Salt Lake City later this afternoon, later today, and then I gotta watch Love Is Blind, the reunion again. It was boring as hell, but I'm gonna rewatch it, and then we'll be back for that as well live sometime today. And then tonight is Sisters, and then tomorrow afternoon we're gonna do Married at First Sight live. The season premiere is tonight of Married at First Sight. Now next Wednesday and following that, we're gonna have a busy schedule, you guys, because we're gonna have Married at First Sight, Sisters, Beverly Hills, and The Real Housewives of Miami, and also what's the name is back. What's the name is wrapping up tonight, American Horror Story. But I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.